Right lads, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Chelsea 2, Nottingham Forest 2 from Stamford Bridge. And before I get into this video, I know you've seen the title and I just want to quickly clarify for you guys that no, I am not being held captive right now. Yes, I am safe in my own household, no need to ask me to blink 5 times or whatever. And no, I have not consumed any form of hardcore drugs before the making of this video. Because yes, Raheem Sterling, I actually think had a good game for Chelsea Football Club, ladies and gentlemen, and scored 2 goals and actually looked like our most dangerous attacking threat today for the majority of the game, especially in that second half performance. And the reason I say all that is because you guys will know, if you are a fan of this channel and have watched my Chelsea related videos in recent weeks and months, that I have been very critical of Raheem Sterling's performances in the Chelsea shirt, especially since Thomas Tuchel left last September. I've been very vocal about my opinions on his seemingly lack of motivation, seemed lack of enthusiasm, and seemed lack of capability in terms of the basic things that a winger needs to do on a weekly basis at an elite level club. And I think he was quite the opposite today, like I said, especially in that second half performance where he got those 2 goals, actually was able to beat his man, like I said, and just looked confident and assured and looked motivated and re-energized and rejuvenated in his mentality in terms of what he gave Chelsea in that second half. So I just thought it was right to start this video by, first of all, giving my flowers to Raheem Sterling, because credit where it's due, I have been very critical of him, and yeah, if we get that week in, week out from Raheem Sterling going forward into next season, I will have absolutely zero issues with him being anywhere near this Chelsea team in the near future. So yeah, Raheem Sterling I thought was my man of the match, and yet, like I said, credit where it is due for him. And I think, like I said, he was the only real highlight in a game, once again, which was absolutely dull as to be honest. A 2-2 draw at home to Nottingham Forest, and to be honest, as bad of a result as it is on paper, I'm just completely numb to it right now, if I'm honest. And yeah, a 2-2 draw at home to a relegation contender, normally I'd be going absolutely mental and effing and blinding, but like I said, I've clocked out with this season, to be honest. Mentally, I really have, and have done for a number of weeks now, because let's be honest, we've reached that 40-point mark after that win against Bournemouth last weekend. We're currently on 43 points with 3 games to go, and those 3 games, I mean, could it be tougher? Man City away, Man United away, and Newcastle at home, which is just absolutely great. So I've just clocked out with this season, to be honest, and I'm just looking forward now to next season under, it seems like, Mauricio Pochettino, who does look like he is 90% in the door, according to Fabrizio Romano, amongst other sources. The game against Bournemouth last weekend was the first win we've had in God knows how long, since mid-March when we bet Leicester away from home under Graham Potter. It was that long ago, and I think it will be, I said after that video, I think it will be the last time we do taste victory this season, even more evident now with the fact that we couldn't beat Nottingham Forest, and yet, like I said, our last 3 games, I cannot see us picking up any more than a point against Newcastle at very best, to be honest. And the only reason I say that is because Newcastle might have nothing to play for, or might have their foot off the pedal, given the fact they might have already secured Champions League qualification by that point. So yeah, like I said, I'm not angry, I'm not depressed. Well, not depressed about Chelsea anyway, first and foremost, but that's a joke, guys, just in case any of you are wondering. I'm not depressed. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, I've just kind of clocked out with regards to the results and how much they mean to me with Chelsea this season, to be honest. Like I said, I mean, realistically, we're not going to even finish in the top half, because as it stands, with 3 games to go, we are 7 points off Brentford, and like I said, I cannot see for the life of me how we even pick up 3 points, let alone 7 points, which means that obviously Brentford would have to lose games if we go ahead of them as well. So yeah, like I said, I think it'll be probably 11th or 12th at best, to be honest, where we finish, and even still, we could finish 13th as well, given the fact that Palace are level on points with us, Wolves are 3 points off us, and they more than likely have way easier run-ins than us. And I'm kind of just holding out now till the end of the season, and thank it's nearly over. Like I said, in 2 weeks time we will be free from this absolute fuckery that we've gone through in the last 36 Premier League games this season, and we will be able to look forward to a new season under a manager who, I'm sorry to say, Frank Lampard, actually knows what he's doing on a weekly basis, and will have a little bit of tactical edge to him and a little bit of quality for a standard of Chelsea Football Club, where we can obviously shift at least 9 or 10 of these players out the door. I'm talking about your Edouard Mendy's, your Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Hakim Ziyech, probably Conor Gallagher I think will leave just to raise a few funds in the summer, even Christian Pulisic for example, Mateo Kovacic if he doesn't want to be here, even though I really do like Kovacic and think he definitely offers a purpose in this Chelsea team next season, but I think if he wants to go, we obviously should let him go. And to be honest, I think we're about 3 signings off actually being somewhat of a title contending team next season now. It sounds absolutely mental to say, given the fact that, like I said, we are 11th and we have just barely scraped over the relegation line, and we've actually celebrated like we've won the Champions League 2 years ago when we got to that 40-point mark, but I think that Chelsea aren't as far off as people realise. wise, I think that we're still 2 or 3 players off really actually being in contention. I don't think we'll win the league next season by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely don't think we're as far off as people think we are, because I think if we get the goalkeeper situation sorted out, Edouard Mendy and Kepa, I don't think one of them will be there next season, so I think we might need to replace one of them, although it does depend on who Pochettino wants, and if he wants Kepa or Mendy, we do have to back him in that scenario. I think it's pretty evident to everyone that we do need a striker. We need that number 9 that's able to get us 15-20 goals a season, because we've massively lacked that this season, and I think we need probably a number 6 to pair with Enzo next season and in the near future to create that pivot and give us a bit more balance in the midfield, because we haven't really had a proper number 6 in years, to be honest. I mean, off the top of my head, the last actual proper number 6 we actually had was Nemanja Matic, who we let go in 2017, so I think it's been that long since we've actually had a proper holding midfielder. And I think if we were to get those 3 positions sorted for next season, as well as obviously, as I said, getting rid of a load of those players who just don't belong in this Chelsea team, and making this squad feel more important, and so that every single player in this Chelsea squad next season feels like they have a role in this team and that they're not just going to be, you know, deadwood until the end of the season when they can be shifted off. I don't think it's inconceivable to think that Chelsea could be in the conversation next year for a title. I mean, like I said, even if it's till January or February, I think we could have some sort of impact on the title race next season, and I think we could be at the very least getting top 4 comfortably enough next season if everything goes right under Poch next season. But yeah, unfortunately focusing more on this game, because obviously I have to, given the fact this is a match review for Chelsea 2, Nottingham Forest 2, and yet to be fair, I think a draw was probably the fairest of results. I think if it wasn't for Raheem Sterling, we would have deserved to lose the game, which sounds mental to say given the fact that Raheem Sterling has been one of the main reasons why we've lost games this season. Okay, maybe that's a bit harsh, because obviously it's not just solely on him, but you know what I mean. He's been absolutely horrendous this season, and today was the main reason why we got a point from the game, which is shown in the XG, 1.14 XG to us for 1.63 for Nottingham Forest, even though we had 76% of the ball. They created 3 big chances, we created 1, but like I said, how many times in the last few years under countless managers have we seen Chelsea absolutely dominate the game in terms of possession of it, and yet just not created anything from it and not used it to our advantage? And plus as well, Nottingham Forest are a team that don't particularly look to have the ball for large spells of the game and are dangerous out of possession with their counter-attacking players like your Morgan Gibbs-White, your Brennan Johnson, who didn't play today, and Awani, who obviously got a brace himself. So yeah, like I said, I just don't think performances or results at this moment in time are really necessary to talk about as a Chelsea fan. I mean, we're going into these last 3 games now, and to be honest, I really don't care about the results unless we get absolutely humiliated, which we definitely do not want to see. But I think if we were to show a little bit of spirit, a little bit of fight, and a little bit of determination, and a little bit of not giving up in those last 3 games, which are obviously very tough, which I expect to get maximum 1 point from, to be honest, I think then we can be a little bit satisfied about the last 3 games. And it sounds ridiculous to say that as a Chelsea fan, and to some extent sounds like I'm settling for mediocrity in those last 3 games, but if we're being real, I mean, this season's completely dead. I think the players are on holidays right now, and we've got absolutely all to play for, so I would not be surprised whatsoever if we, you know, did get battered by Man City, Man United, and maybe pick up a draw against Newcastle at best. In terms of other players that I think had a decent game besides Raheem Sterling, I think Trev Chalobah was decent enough. I thought he looked a little bit more competent down that right hand side, especially in his forward play. I think Lewis Hall was okay in spurts. I think Enzo was decent again in terms of keeping possession, taking and moving the ball, which he does ever so well. And obviously then on the flip side, Edouard Mendy, who, you know, was completely at fault for the first goal, completely flapped at a cross for Awani to head in. And to be honest, I've never really understood why in recent weeks that Chelsea fans have been so critical of Kepa. They've just been pushing this narrative that they need Mendy back in the team and that Mendy will be the answer to our goalkeeper problems, when we've clearly seen today, and you know, the reason why he was dropped in the first place, why he's not the number 1 goalkeeper and why he will not be the answer long term for Chelsea. Even though I do love Mendy, I think that he definitely deserves his credit in his Chelsea career given how good he was at that one stage. I mean, he was a world-class goalkeeper for about a year, but like we've seen, I think there was a reason why he was dropped, and I just don't like this mentality within fans. And we've seen it this season with players like Mendy and Aubameyang, for example, as well, who, where that player comes into the team in replace of a player who's not really been playing the best in that position over the course of the season, and then the fans were like, oh, let's get Mendy back in the team, let's give Aubameyang another shot, and then, you know, they come back into the team and they realise there was a reason they were dropped in the first place. And it's just this recency bias, a bit of nostalgia bias overall with Mendy and Aubameyang, for example. They're just 2 examples of players that I can list. But football fans, in my opinion, are very susceptible to buying into that, and I think that's a perfect example of Edouard Mendy's performance today. And yes, you can say he's not, you know, match sharp 100%, which I think is a fair argument, but to conclude my point, I don't think Mendy, or Aubameyang for that matter as well, are going to be the answers long term for Chelsea Football Club, and both probably will be shifted out in the summer, and rightly so in my opinion. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this game overall, Chelsea fans, if any of you actually give a shit, and to be honest, I would not blame you whatsoever for not giving a shit. like myself, for example. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below, are you enthusiastic about next season, a fresh start under Mauricio Pochettino going into the Premier League next season? Just get a bit of discussion going on Chelsea Football Club as a whole in the comment section below, because like I said, there's not much to talk about right now with the performances on the pitch, given the fact that, like I said, we've got absolutely nothing to play for, and we are more than certainly on the beach right now as regards to our players. And yeah, leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it, would be absolutely hugely appreciated, and yeah, would mean more than you guys could ever imagine. And subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. We are looking to hit 3,000 subscribers on this channel as soon as we can possibly get there, and turn on the notification bell while you're at it as well, because you might as well. You will not miss any Chelsea related content or Premier League content that I do in general. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching, chat to you later, and up the Chels.